Young and the Restless. Spoilers. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. It is a wild Wednesday, and we have an absolute mountain of Genoa City drama to unpack today. Grab your coffee, take a deep breath, and get comfortable, because we are diving straight into the deep end of the emotional pool. Let's get right into it. I am literally shaking as I type this because I cannot even begin to process the absolute emotional warfare the writers just unleashed on us. I mean, are we seriously doing this? Are we really dragging Adam, Sally, and Billy through this specific agonizing brand of emotional torture again? I just finished watching the latest episode, and my heart is completely shattered into a million pieces. I am so overwhelmingly frustrated, heartbroken, and furious all at the same time. I know I shouldn't let a soap opera get to me this much, but I have been watching this show for years, and this particular storyline just hits every single raw nerve I have. Let's start with Billy Abbott, because I have opinions, and I need to get them out before I absolutely explode. What was he thinking? I'm sorry, but why on earth would Billy go out of his way to tell Adam that Sally is pregnant? He knows damn well about baby Ava. He knows the excruciating, life-altering trauma that Adam and Sally share over losing that little girl. So why do it? Is it him marking his territory? Is he just trying to casually rub it in Adam's face that he is the one having a baby with Sally now? Because, honestly, it felt so incredibly cruel and unnecessary. Billy loves to play the moral high ground, acting like he is the mature, stable choice for Sally. But then he pulls a stunt like this. It is just classic Billy Abbott behavior, constantly needing to one-up Adam Newman at every conceivable turn. And don't even get me started on the hypocrisy. Billy has a history of messy, reckless behavior, and he has experienced the unimaginable loss of a child himself with Delia. You would think someone who has been through the darkest pits of grief over losing a daughter would have a little more tact, a little more empathy when dealing with someone else's lost child. But no, he just casually drops this massive, triggering bomb on Adam like it is just everyday gossip. I was screaming at my screen. I just wanted to reach through the television and shake him. Wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me take a breath. Okay, back to the point. Can we talk about Adam's reaction? Because I was fully bracing myself for Adam to spiral. I thought we were going to get dark, brooding, destructive Adam, but the way his face fell, that microscopic flinch of pure agony before he masked it, give Mark Grossman all the Emmys right now. And then he was gracious. I literally cannot. I burst into tears. Adam genuinely smiled, swallowed his own suffocating grief, and wished Sally success in motherhood. He told Billy he was happy for her. Do you understand how much growth that takes? Adam has done terrible, unforgivable things in his past, but his love for Sally was always so incredibly real. Losing Ava broke him just as much as it broke her. For him to stand there, looking at the man who is currently with the love of his life, and genuinely wish her a healthy, happy baby, it shattered me. It shows so much emotional maturity, and it proves that his love for Sally is entirely selfless at this point. He just wants her to be happy, even if it's not with him. But of course, the universe and the Y&R writers cannot just let Adam have a moment of grace, because then Sally finds out, and all hell absolutely breaks loose. When Sally confronted Adam, I expected her to be uncomfortable. I, I expected her to maybe be a little cold or ask him to keep his distance. I did not expect the absolute visceral explosion of rage that we got, the way she screamed at him. I mean, you could feel the years of unresolved trauma just pouring out of her in real time. She wants absolutely nothing to do with him. The tears were streaming down her face, her voice was cracking, and she just completely lost it. And then the slap. Oh my God, the slap. I literally jumped off my couch. She slapped him so hard I think my own cheek stung. And she just screamed at him to get out, to stay away from her, to never look at her again. I know some people on the forums are cheering for Sally right now, calling her a fierce mama bear protecting her peace. But personally, I am so deeply conflicted because on one hand, I am furious with her for treating Adam like he is the villain in this specific moment. He didn't ask Billy to tell him. He didn't seek her out to rub his knowledge in her face. He was just standing there, being decent for once in his life, and she physically assaulted him and treated him like garbage. But then I stop and think about it, and I contradict myself, because I kind of get it. I really do. Why did she slap him? It's not just about him knowing she's pregnant. It is the trauma. It is the ghost of baby Ava standing right there in the room with them. Sally still deeply, fundamentally resents Adam. She blames him for the stress, the heartbreak, and the impossible medical situation that led to her losing her first baby. Remember the hospital scenes? Remember when Adam had to make the most impossible, gut-wrenching choice any father could ever make? The doctors told him he had to choose between saving Sally's life or saving the baby's life. And Adam chose Sally. He chose the woman he loved, knowing it meant their daughter would die. Medically, logically, he made the only choice he could to keep Sally alive. But emotionally, Sally has never, ever forgiven him for making that call. In her mind, Adam is the reason her baby is dead. Adam is the reason her arms were empty. And now she is pregnant again. Her hormones are raging. Her anxiety is through the absolute roof. And suddenly the man she associates with the greatest tragedy of her entire life is standing there talking about her new baby. So, yeah, I get why she snapped. When you lose a child, you need somewhere to put that suffocating anger. And for Sally, Adam is the easiest target. She can't yell at the universe, so she yells at him. She slaps him because the pain inside her is so big it has to manifest physically. It is so incredibly unfair to Adam, who is just standing there taking the abuse because he thinks he deserves it, but it is also a completely raw, realistic depiction of trauma. I am just a mess over it. And honestly, can we talk about how the show just loves to torture Sally Spectra? I have been a fan of this character since her crossover days, and it feels like she is never allowed to just breathe. Every single time she gets a sliver of joy, every time she tries to build a future, the ghost of her past comes back to haunt her. She is so terrified of this pregnancy. We already know she was leaning heavily on Audra, crying over pregnancy tests, terrified of what the future holds, terrified of Billy's instability, and terrified of Jill's constant interference. Sally is a woman on the edge of a cliff, and this confrontation with Adam just pushed her one step closer to the edge. I am dreading what comes next. I really am. Because if you have been watching this show as long as I have, you know that a confrontation this explosive is usually foreshadowing something terrible. I am terrified that the stress of this argument, the stress of Billy's big mouth, and the overwhelming weight of her unresolved grief over Ava is going to cause history to repeat itself. I don't think my heart can take watching Sally lose another baby. I just can't do it. And if something happens to this pregnancy, she is going to completely break. There will be no coming back for her. And you know what? If that happens, I'm blaming Billy Abbott. I don't care what anyone says. Billy set this entire chain of events in motion the second he opened his smug mouth to Adam. I just need to breathe. This entire sequence was an absolute masterclass in acting from Mark Grossman, Courtney Hope, and Jason Thompson. The chemistry, the history, the unspoken pain in their eyes, it was phenomenal television. But it was also a torture chamber for my soul. I feel like I need to go lie down in a dark room and process my feelings for a week. Adam deserves better than to be slapped for being kind. Sally deserves better than to be constantly triggered by the men in her life. And Billy, well, Billy deserves a swift kick in the shins for being such an insensitive jerk. Am I the only one who feels this way? Please tell me I'm not crazy for being this emotionally invested. I just needed to get this out of my system because I am going to be thinking about that slap and Adam's heartbroken face for the rest of the week. Let me know if you guys are Team Sally, Team Adam, or if you're just like me and want to scream at the writers for putting us through this again. Until next time, I'll just be over here crying into my throw pillows.